about, like we've all been hearing recently, is it's the biology. And the questions that she asked most pertinently were, what about the biology? So my purpose in doing compost is to grow the biology, use it in teas where we can feed the biology more, like by what we put in it, which if we, and then spray it on the fields. Get it on the fields, get it out where the plants can use it. So the basic answer is the bacteria and fungi produce the enzymes that break up the organic matter and the mineral matter. So they break up the sand and the silt and the clays, and they break up the organic matter, and they pull all the nutrients out of those. And that's great. And then along, there's all our nutrients running around in the plant in the bacteria and fungi. So then they need the prey organisms to eat them, which are the protozoa and the nematodes. So they eat. So the bacteria and fungi are hanging around the roots of the plants because the plants get what they need from the bacteria and fungi. So the plants feed the bacteria and fungi their sugars from photosynthesis, and the bacteria and fungi trade it. What nutrients the plant wants, the nitrogen or the carbon or the silicon or the boron or the whatever the plant wants, it gets those, it trades them for sugar. And that works really well, and then the prey organisms eat them and poop out the excess, just like we do, nutrition right there at the roots of the plants. So if a plant all of a sudden needs calcium, it'll send out the sugar to the microorganisms that have the enzymes for calcium, to the bacteria and fungi. They go use their enzymes, bring it back, some predator eats them, poops right there, and it takes, she said it takes 3 seconds.
A poop platter.
A poop platter. She calls it the poop loop, but yeah, poop platter right there. Buffet, constant buffet at the roots of the plants, and it happens really fast. So with all that going on, we don't need to add things, because the plants say, I need this. The microorganisms, if they're there, provide it right now. If they need water, if they need anything, they get it themselves. So the other thing she found out is different plants like different ratios of fungi to bacteria. And that's where the main problem comes in, is the bacteria is the way we garden, the way we disturb the soil. Our gardening disturbs the soil, and that kills the fungi. So we've got a ton of bacteria, which do a lot of good work, as we see. And there's a whole other beyond missing because the fungi are gone, or basically gone. So we can feed up the fungi, get them out in mass quantities, and the plants will do much better until they get disturbed and killed again, and then we can put out more and reestablish the fungi. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And thank you all for your participation. I told Alder Creek because I figured there'd be lots of green stuff, and there is. And you have a great chip pile. So basically it's greens and browns, and then I find some manure, some brewery, used grains from the brewery, or some high nitrogen, add it in, stir it up, let it sit, see what happens. So far we've been using, I haven't done that part yet, so far we've been using ammonium sulfate. And it does some of it, but it doesn't last. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe someday I'll figure that out.
So in some of the reading, the comfrey is a very high nitrogen plus a bioaccumulator. So I sent an email to Mary's team and said, can we harvest more comfrey?
They've been harvesting a lot.
Yeah, so I started drying some too. So yeah, so you could use it as green or brown if you want.
Actually, stuff that is cut green and then dried, like hay, is a green.
Still a green.
The nutrients are all still there.
Okay.
It becomes a brown when it dies, because as it dies, all its nutrients go down to the roots to stay there over the winter and be available.
So dies in situ then.
When it's dead.
So
it's
like
brown.
a leaf then?
A dead leaf is brown.
Oh,
If it fell off the tree dead,
naturally,
it's a brown.
not cut off. Okay.
Yeah, if you cut it off and dry it out, it's a green.
Well, that's very interesting. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, there you go. You got some dry green and some wet green.
Yeah, and the wet green is because water is part of it. You know, part along with testing the temperature, I have to test the water, check the water, make sure it's not too wet or too dry. So what I am asking you guys for, beyond that, is to help me a little more with the green stuff. So these are not too big, but they're kind of too long. Because when I have to turn the pile, you know how something this long, how awkward it is to deal with the fork and everything. And also chopping it up helps the organisms get in there and eat it up, you know. Not eat it, but transform it quicker. So just a quick few chops would be great. And then for every bucket of green, you can use this one, so push it down. So that's about 3/4 of a bucket. Then after that's chopped and put on, you'd get a 3/4 of a bucket of the brown and put it on top. Spread it out. Ed is making these nice little walls for us so we can spread things out.
And our chopping table.
Yeah,
And
that's
this,
nice.
and this comes off. If this is in your way, just get it out of your way. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Thank you, Ed. I thought I saw him here. There he is. Yeah. So that's that. And I'll try to keep you informed of what compost to put on.
Emily?
Yeah.
All right, I only have a half a bucket full, okay?
Yeah.
What do I do with it?
Put it
If you're
in
saying
here.
that you want a 3/4,
No.
just
Whatever.
do
If you
equal,
put
just
It's
do
the
equal.
ratio.
by
Okay.
volume. So 2 handfuls of green, you'd put on 2 handfuls of brown. Half a bucket of green, you put on half a bucket of brown.
Okay.
And it's, I got a little demonstration right there. Help people like myself.
Yeah, so her team put together signs, so it talks about kind of the size that she wants it cut into, then mixing the greens and the browns, and it just says a ratio, 1-to-1 by volume, and then the browns, and then she'll say whether it's ready or not.
Okay. So, we still have the differentiation of plant matter. That there's the vegetables and the common weeds go here. Noxious weeds out on that one. And then the few that go over on the burn pile like ivy and like that. So stickery things can be hard. Are they canes or are they dry canes or are they still green? And at this point, these are all green, so that's fine. In the fall, after the leaves have all died off, they of course will be brown, and they'd go on the burn pile once they turn brown. Unless
Can
we
you
have a chipper.
can you address the noxious weed pile? It seems to grow much faster than this pile,
Yeah,
and I think we're putting some things on there. Anyway, I'd like
Yeah.
your input on that.
Yeah.